and I would be speaking on the topic today with regards to data and types of data collection. To understand data, we need to understand where are the source of information which comes in for conducting the research. Data is a lot of piled up information, okay, which is basically not segregated in nature. Now, if I'm a researcher and I need the precise information, I need to extract from the data which is available. Like such as data could be facts, data could be those informations that area of research that I would be conducting on, and in which the data is like widespread, in which a researcher is supposed to choose whichever the topic is important or relevant to the area of interest where the researcher is conducting a research on. So that's data. Now, there are two different sources of collecting the data, or two different methods of collecting the data. Under that, first one is primary source of data collection, and the second one is secondary source of data collection. I would be giving you a very small or little brief on what is primary source of data collection and secondary source of data collection. It means these two methods can be adapted by the researcher for collecting the data which is relevant to the research topic. Now, under primary source of data collection, let me tell you the introduction of this. It is a first-hand information being collected by the researcher, which has more reliable data in nature. A researcher can rely on this data in comparison to the secondary source of data collection. Reason why? A researcher meets the respondents or the samples and collects the data like face to face in various formats. To give you those various formats, um, the first type of primary source of data collection, let me tell you. First one is observation. A researcher might have few instruments, could be in a form of recording, could be in a form of various observations, could be seen on the individual respondents' emotions and the facial expressions. Observations are done on the form of video recording or a voice recording or anything as an aspect. Okay, so that is observation. Now, interview is like, let me combine interview and questionnaire together and give you an explanation how exactly interview and questionnaire works. As a researcher prepares a set of formal questions, which is structured in nature. Most of the time it's structured in nature. Probably it could be starting with the demographic variables and then continued with um, the data or a research which is being conducted by the researcher. So the flow starts with demographic variable questions to all the other structured questions. These questions are being given to the respondents in the form of an interview. So in interview, a researcher would be seeing the expression of the respondents when they're answering the questions, feeling the comfort of the respondents to answer to the questions or not, or if the respondents tells us to modify this particular questions according to the taste and preferences, or probably which would give them a relevant result, a reliable result. So that becomes interviewing and scheduling. And the questionnaire. Uh, yeah, the last part which I'm supposed to explain to you is about scheduling. Here, there are individuals called as enumerators, which are appointed by the researcher. These enumerators will go and collect the data or information from the respondents in the form of conducting interview. So again, I'll repeat. There are enumerators who are appointed by the researchers. The enumerators will go and face the respondents and give them the structured questionnaire, observe them in the form of an interview, who are being trained by the researcher. That is so-called as scheduling. So this is about primary source of data collection. Now, the next source of data collection is secondary source of data collection. How does secondary source of data collection works? The topic or the research which I'm conducting, in relevance to that, Another researcher has already published a research article. I would take that reference because it is relevant and reliable, and it is related to the research part which I am doing. Okay, so that is one form of secondary source of data collection. If an individual is trying to do on a financial project, the balance sheet of the company could be also a secondary source of data collection for a researcher. Now, also an inclusion with books being read in related topic of research. All of this becomes types of research and source of data collection. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day.